Okay, so we have just returned from Samsung's launch event for the Galaxy Note 9, and we have a lot of opinions. We've got the Note 9 here in our hands. Shara, what is your takeaway? What do you think?
I think for a lot of people, it's going to look very similar to what we saw last year. But there's some really good changes inside, a lot more storage, a bigger battery. They really played it cautious last year because of the Note 7 problem. So the Note 8, they kind of went with a smaller battery than they could have. Now we're back to them promising, all day and more battery life.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a 4,000 milliampere hour battery, which is big. It's huge, actually. So I am looking forward to seeing how long that battery lasts. This phone also starts at 128 gigabytes of storage, which is huge. Normally, their phones start at 64 gigabytes. Then there's another option that's 512 gigabytes. That's insane. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, you have to think about the fact that Samsung is the world's biggest flash memory maker, so it's just like, pull it off the shelf, put it in the phone. Yeah, I mean, that's something like the Note users are typically like power users. It's people who like need to do a lot with it. They want the stylus. They want to have everything the best, basically. And so like that's what Samsung was really trying to do with this. But kind of on the flip side, they also still had the expandable memory. So they were saying they're soon going to have—
that's right in there.
Yeah, that they're soon going to have the memory cards that make it so you could have a terabyte of storage basically on this phone. It's interesting when you
if you get the largest capacity and then you also get a 512 gigabyte memory card, you're up to about a terabyte. That's a lot. That's a tremendous amount of videos and photos, and I think that's what a lot of people want. They want a lot of memory.
Yeah, but then it comes to the whole, we're all paying for cloud services, how much— it's kind of, I think, a debate right now, like how much do you actually need actually saved on your device versus how much that you can have on the internet. So
right, and then apart from that, and if you take out the memory, if you take out the battery, we've got a lot of very similar features to last year, and in fact to the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. We've got the exact same camera setup with dual 12 megapixel cameras on the back, dual aperture, which helps with low light shots. There's an 8 megapixel camera on the front. You've got a fingerprint reader, wireless charging, waterproofing. So I do think that the one thing that makes the Note stick out is, of course, there we go, the stylus. It's really crammed in there. The stylus is a big deal, and Samsung really this year has gone ahead and it's added a lot more features to this. So you can still write, navigate, draw, but now it's Bluetooth connected.
Yes, yeah. So they're saying there's things like you can use it as a remote basically to turn the shutter on your camera. So like if you're taking a group picture, instead of having to go over and push the button or use the self timer, I guess you can use that. They used it, they really like to say they used it for their PowerPoint presentations. So their presentations, to go to the next slides, they were actually using the Note. It'll be interesting to see how much you can actually do with it, but we got briefings, we got demos on it, and basically you just long press this button on the S Pen, and right now it triggers a setup page for the S Pen remote. There's a lot of customization that you can do. I think we still really need to deep dive into what those use cases are. Definitely in the demo, I used this to successfully launch the camera, flip it over to a selfie, and take a selfie. So I think that could be really useful, and it's really nice to see Samsung expanding beyond. A lot of people have called for, make the tip into an eraser and let's do something else with this. So this is something that Samsung has been long overdue for. I am glad to see it here. But does it justify the elephant in the room, which is the price? Yeah. So the price is more than what we saw from the Note 8. It's more than what we saw from the S9 Plus, which is interesting considering it's very similar actual specs.
Right, so the phone actually starts at $1,000 for the 128 gigabyte version, and then for the larger 512 gigabyte version, that is $1,250. This is iPhone 10 territory.
Yeah, I mean, it's iPhone 10 territory. I think there's kind of two sides to this, where Samsung devices are generally iPhone 10 quality. They have good displays, they have good materials. I think could be hard to justify this in some ways because there aren't as many kind of noticeable changes. But then on the flip side, you also have more storage. But storage is cheap. Like you can go buy a micro SD card I was just doing some searches, and like you know, a 64 gig micro SD card you can buy for literally like $5 or $6. So you know, does it justify kind of this huge price to get more storage? I don't know.
Yeah, we've been looking and talking about pricing for smartphones. The prices have definitely crept up, not just for Apple, not just for Samsung, but on high-end devices all across the board. So this is a trend that we're seeing. It's not going to go away. And the question is, does it really justify it? Are the days of the $600 flagship phone behind us? I mean, I think that the answer is clearly yes. And I think what that leaves us with is asking and answering the question, who is this for? And I mean, my immediate thought is that this is a phone for somebody who has, you know, an earlier version of the Note, like the Note 5. You know, of course, Samsung skipped the Note 6, and then the Note 7 exploded and had to be taken off the shelves, and then there was the Note 8. So if you're left with the Note 5, this is going to be a huge upgrade. It's going to be fast. It's going to be, you know, future ready.
Yeah.
And so it could be good for that. I mean, it could also be great for a person who wants just like a very powerful device, like the best that they can get, you know, power users who like the idea of using the stylus to write with.
Yeah. I mean, and like Samsung was saying, you know, I was talking to one of their executives, and he was saying that most people who upgrade, like their upgrade customers, are people who will have had like the Note 5. You know, it's kind of those like huge ultra fans is kind of a smaller percentage of it, and they're gonna buy it probably no matter what. But like for this, when they're thinking of upgrades, they're thinking of those like Note 5 customers. So like for the Note 5 customer, or even Note 4, like whatever it is you have that's older, you know, they also compared it to like the S7 Edge. Like it's a big step up for that. It's just, you know, the Note 8 users, not so much.
And then competition is really fierce too, right? So we have the next iPhones coming up. We've got the Pixel 3 series probably coming up. And then Samsung itself is going to have another next big phone, right? Next spring.
Yeah, you know, and like it also, you know, even with pricing, it's almost just kind of a mental thing as well. Like if they had cut pricing on this, or maybe even kept it the same, you kind of mentally think, well, oh, it must not be the best phone then, because the best phone is going to be really expensive. You know, so it's kind of almost counterintuitive, because you don't want to pay more for a phone, but you know, like, oh, I want the best phone, so it's going to be the most expensive phone.
Well, it certainly looks really good, and this blue color is very striking with that contrasting S Pen that comes out of it. We are going to have a lot more details coming up. We're going to have a full review of this device, so stick with us for all of your Galaxy Note 9 news.